Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you all give me here. I am truly grateful. Thank you all so much. So today's video is really an interesting one, and trust me, Karens are pissed. From the comments and all that, you definitely will know that they are pissed. And I have done one of this video, and this is helping Ray to the season clean up their houses. This is part 2 and part 3, and he really came all out, I think his intention was to piss everybody off, especially them that are so rare, because you can be so rare and seasoned, and everything in your house, everything you do or everything around you is all done, you are surrounded by black people which you cannot see, and you are trying to be ready to the season and all that. Man, it ain't gonna work. If you are gonna be ready to the season, clean up and trash them. There are so many people that are willing and ready to pick up all your trash and all that, and then make use of it. So this is more like a wake-up call for all the Karens, because this man chose violence. I am not going to lie to you. He really came all out for every one of them. And they were busy saying, oh, you are all here to divide. No, it is not divide and conquer. No, he is here to call you all Karens all out on your silliness and BSs and all that. And I absolutely enjoyed this content. I hope you also find it very interesting. With that being said, I am just going to roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it, and I absolutely want to read all your comments. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. And straight up, here we go.
If you're committed to being a racist in this country, you can't unsee what I'm about to show you. Part 2. Do you see that little doohickey on the wall right there, the little white thing? That's called your thermostat. That's how you control your AC. That was invented by David Crossway, who got his engineering degree right here in Indiana at Purdue University. He's so cold, he designed the heating system for Radio City Music Hall and Rockefeller Center. Sorry, racist. No AC this summer. This is really going to mess your shit up. The porcelain toilet as we know it was designed by Thomas Elkins in 1872. Hey, come here. How many races does it take to change a light bulb? None. They don't want to be enlightened. Which is too bad, because the carbon filament in the light bulb that we've grown up and used, that lights up really bright, was invented by Lewis Latimer, who's one of the chief engineers for Thomas Edison, and he helped design the telephone with Alexander Graham Bell. You can't even do something as simple as open the door, because that door handle was patented in 1878 by Osborne Dorsey. Yeah, sorry guys. I guess you probably were raised in a barn. And if you think you want to call all your buddies to come meet you at the laundromat so you can wash your white sheets together, because let's face it, if you're still a racist, you don't have a dryer, you don't have a gas furnace heater, you don't have a thermostat to control your AC, you can't open your doors without a doorknob, and you especially cannot call your buddies without the cell phone. You're going to have to get rid of these, like I said, because Henry Sampson, a black genius inventor, patented and invented the gamma ray process, which uses radio waves to transmit and receive audio signals, which is what makes cell phones able to communicate with each other, and changed all our lives significantly. Listen, in all seriousness, if you still really, really are committed to being a racist, it's getting hard in the yard out here for y'all, because I've now made you aware of some things that you didn't know. And this is just a tiny tip of the iceberg of all the ways people of color have improved our lives in measurable and quantifiable ways. Our world would not be nearly as far along as it has without the inventions and contributions of all these Americans. So again, I hope that this opens your eyes a little bit to how much white and black culture are actually intertwined in a good and great positive way. Have a great evening. Now, if you're still committed to being a racist in this country, here's some things that you cannot unsee. Part 3, the garage sale. If you're still on that racist trip, I got some bad news for you. Your Nectar of the Gods Hidden Valley Ranch dressing was created by a black Nebraska cowboy named Steve Henson. And what many people might not know is he was a plumbing contractor in Alaska and made his fortune up there. And he created the dry powder ranch seasoning and gave it out to his employees, and they loved it. And when he retired and bought Hidden Valley Ranch in California, hence the name Hidden Valley Ranch, he started to sell it. Now, he ended up selling it to Clorox Bleach, which they still own, which is a little weird when you think about it. The perfect white condiment sold to a company that makes a chemical that makes everything white. What did Mr. Henson know that he's not telling us? I almost feel sorry for you a little bit on this one. See that television behind me? There's a black badass American named Otis Boykin who developed a wire precision resistor for these TVs, which helped control the flow of electricity. More importantly, 2 years later, he improved upon this in 1961, making versions that could withstand extreme changes in pressure and temperature. Now, why is this important? Because TVs that work in Denver, Colorado would not work correctly in Little Rock, Arkansas. That being a very humid, hot state, Colorado being very dry, and then different air pressure up there. This greatly reduced the cost of TVs because you could mass produce them and sell them in Texas and Alaska, the same model. But wait, there's more. This man also developed the control unit for the pacemaker, which exists in over 1 million people today. So if you're racist, you probably know somebody's life who was saved by Otis Boykin. And the TV you watch? Otis Boykin. And he also helped design guided missile systems for the military. Yeah, told you he's a badass. Oh, you're not going to like this. Not the lawnmower. Yep. Now, while John Albert Burr did not invent the lawnmower, he did patent the mechanical lawnmowers you see pictured above, which has design elements that are used to today's mowers, as well as his original mechanical design is making a huge comeback with people being really conscious about climate change. I guess some people are going to be hiring a lawn service now. Can't be using a lawnmower improved upon by a black man. This one's going to sting. The ultimate white powder, sugar. Norbert Ryu, a black Creole Cajun man from Louisiana, was obsessed with steam engines and was a widely regarded expert in them. He developed an evaporator process that has revolutionized the entire sugar industry, and some of his principles are still used today. Gotta go. So after all this, if you are still down with this racist gig, a lot of your shit's gotta go. I mean, you're going to have a huge garage sale. And I just have one thing to say to all the stuff you got to get rid of. This nice lady commented that she's confused how I didn't get the meaning of Black Lives Matter movement when it kicked off. It probably took me a year before I got it. That's a very, very fair comment. Thank you for asking. And one I'll absolutely address because I think it needs to be. Racism, as we all know, is the thought or belief that all or part of a race is inferior or superior to another. And how racism manifests itself is through bias, through stereotyping, prejudice, discrimination, oppression. And I'll leave being judgmental out because we're all judgmental just to survive every day. We have to make judgments constantly. People use that word. But we're very, very prejudicial when you're racist. And we're bigots. And I use the term bigot as we're intolerant to people's opinion that differ from our own. I can say this because I was a bigot for a long time. I just didn't want to hear what anybody else was telling me. That's my ego and pride in the way. Now I was taught certain things about people of color from family, and they were taught by family, and they were taught by family, and I was taught by people around me that look like me, right? We all know this story. But somewhere along the line, I believe God started to pull back the curtain. And this is probably 10, 12 years ago that this happened. And this journey, it's painful because I have to question my own character. I have to admit my own character is corrupted by a very hurtful and flawed way of thinking. Now that means my parents were wrong who I love, my grandparents were wrong who I love. And they were teaching me what they knew. It doesn't justify it. I'm not trying to rationalize it. I'm simply trying to explain to you where this man, me, with blue eyes and white skin, is at on this journey. I didn't want to learn. Does that make my racism intentional? Yeah, it absolutely does. And when I realized it's intentional, because I didn't accept that it was intentional, but when I realized it, things changed. It changed a lot. I can't fix the past. I'm never going to have answers, and no one's going to have an answer for that. But I can try to be the change that I want to see in the world going forward, how I treat people, trying to build a voice that I can use to lift others up and acknowledge and recognize others that society has just stomped the shit out of. And if I can do that, and maybe some other people will start to do that, and then maybe we'll get to the real nuts and bolts of what's going on in our society, and then we can have real discussions and talk about real solutions. That's my goal. Sorry I was confused for so long. Have a great day.
All right, so this is all we got from the video, and trust me, I don't know how this man woke up and decided to choose, like he chose violence. Violence. Really, I was some people actually stitched the video, some of his videos, and before I could grab them, they deleted them. Some people were like saying, oh, you are trying to divide and all that, but then he is not trying to divide. He is actually bringing to light so many things that if you think you are that rare and sees, just clean up your house and put them all up for sale and all that, let them all go. So I feel like you all can do better. I mean, from this video, understanding that some of the things you all use were even, because you can be a rare to the season or a rare to the season when everything in your house it's all by a black person and all that. He really came very prepared, and I absolutely enjoyed watching him, and I hope you did enjoy it. Thank you all so much for all the love and support. I appreciate you all. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.